He's coming from Prague, Czech Republic, teaching Jainism in one of the famous universities of Europe, Charles University. It's more than 700 years old university, isn't it? Yeah. So it's a beautiful university, and he has introduced Jainism in Charles University over there. And obviously he will talk about how he got interested in Jainism, what made him study Jainism, when did he go to India, what did he do, everything. He will talk about all these things himself. So we'll know something more from him. But he's a very devoted person, very simple person. I went to Prague about a year ago or something, yeah, and I stayed in his house. Very simple person, doesn't use car, no TV either, you know, very simple lifestyle. It suits Jain ascetic really, yeah. That sort of lifestyle he's living. And you can see him by his appearance that he is like a Rishi. So, and he takes keen interest in Jainism. His wife, Pujya, is also here. She also now taking interest in Jainism. She is also taking interest. And we welcome you both here. And we hope that, of course, he's going tomorrow. And hope you will come again and accept our hospitality. પૂજ્ય શ્રી નિર્મલ સાગરજી મહારાજને તો આપણે ઓળખીએ છીએ. આમ તો આપણા બધાની જે મીડિયમના જ છે મૂળ, પણ હમણાં ઘણા વખતથી હોંગકોંગમાં રહે છે. હોંગકોંગના જૈન સમાજને એમની સેવા આપે છે. So he's coming from Hong Kong right now, and he's, of course, we all know he's a very, very knowledgeable person. He's a real scholar, and he's also ascetic, like a sadhu. So we have a lot to learn from him. આપણે એની તરફથી રોજ આરાધના કરવા મળે છે, બધું મળે છે, આપણે ભાઈ છીએ. First, I would like you, like yourself, to say something about your interest in Jainism, and then maybe something about Aparigraha or Kal Chakra or whatever you choose to speak here. And feel free. And then you can ask questions to Joseph, and he will be happy to answer.
Jai Janendra, can you hear me like this?
Yes.
So, because I'm not very friendly with the technology, so I would prefer to shout a little bit more than using the loudspeaker. My name is Josef Bartosek, and I come from Prague, and probably I belong to one of several people in Czech Republic who are interested in Jainism. Well, I was talking about how I became interested in Jainism in my previous lecture, and I was also talking about what Jainism contributed to the treasure of Indian culture. And first of all, the fact that most of the Indian people are vegetarians, it is thanks to Jainism. Because in Veda and all Vedic books, all those people were practicing animal sacrifices and they were eating meat. The same you can say about Buddhist people, because only some of them were vegetarians, and Buddha himself, he died after eating some bad meat he was given. So the Jains were the only people who were pure vegetarian, and they introduced this to India. In spite of the fact that now most of the people in the world think that it was Hindus, because they are the majority in India now, but the fact is the contrary. Well, why was it like that? Because Jainism strongly protected life, and according to Acharanga Sutra, there are 6 types of living beings, including earth and fire and wind and water. And this show that that Jainism is very ancient religion, and it is the only religion which has been continuing since these ancient times until nowadays. So it's definitely the oldest continuously existing religion in the world. And from this point of view, it is also interesting for scientists and people practicing other religions, because they can discover the rules of some things we do and they can compare them. Of course, Jainism belonging to the ascetic branch of Indian religion, unlike Hinduism, which belongs to the religion of sacrifices. So, in the religion of sacrifices, they had no belief in samsara. They believe just in one life, and you are or rewarded or punished later. So, another thing Jainism contributed to Indian culture is samsara, which is quite unique for India, because outside India that belief is not spread. There are some hints that it may have been in early Christianity, because there is one philosopher and religious person, Origenes, who believed that people who did not live proper life will be born again until they can reach, well, the heaven in Christian terminology. So that was obviously brought to Europe from India. We will see another things in a minute later. So these are the things Jainism for sure contributed to the treasure of Indian culture. Well, now of course all Indian religions share this belief, the belief in samsara. And of course, because of the fact that Jains and Vedic people or Hindu later on were living next to each other, so they mutually influenced. And probably the worship we saw a few minutes ago, it's the influence on Hinduism to Jainism, because the original ascetics, they did not dwell in temples, they were somewhere outside and trying to get rid of all the karma, to release the jiva, to go to siddhashila and to stay in the state of siddhi or moksha or nirvana, or I don't know why you have so many terms for everything. But these ascetics in the rainy period, they had to be somewhere in, because outside the rainy period they were walking every day. But in the rainy period they could not because of the rain, of course they would not mind it, but they could not walk because in that time there are very many little creatures breeding and sprouts coming out, so it would be impossible not to harm something on the way. So they had to find a shelter. Originally they found shelters in caves, but later on they found also shelters in some Hindu temples. And that was the mutual influence. So they have taught something to the Hindu and accepted something from them. So maybe the result that we have the icons here now, that's the influence of Hinduism. And of course, we must take into consideration even even older tradition than Hinduism and Jainism from ancient time of India. For instance, the Yaksha and Yakshi very probably it's even before that, in the times so long ago that nobody can say anything about it. Somebody may think it's not good to be influenced by others, but you can understand it also in a positive way. Because if we mutually influence one another, then in fact we have everything in common. Then there is no reason for hatred or competition, saying, well, this is Hindu and this is Jain. There is no reason for that, because it's a common treasure for all of us. Well, so that's about the antiquity of Jainism. But I promised not to speak about Kal Chakra today, which I found very interesting. Because in Jainism there is no God who created the universe or anything like that. The universe is here from ever and forever. And all the universe consists of 6 substances, 6 dravyas. Well, we mentioned Jiva, which is the living substance, and the rest of them are ajiva. It's the space, akash, which fills everything, log, the universe, or alok, the outer space. Then there is Pujya, the matter, roughly spoken, which forms karma, which stick on jiva, and which we try during the samsara to get rid of. That karma can be of many sorts, Ghati karma, Agati karma, and so on. You know it better than me. Well, then there are 2 very specific items. It's dharma, which enables motion, and adharma, which enables rest. This is also something which is unique for Jainism, and no other philosophical school in the world has anything like that. Dharma is very interesting. We can say it's like water for the fish. The water is not the source of the movement of the fish, but enables it. Without the water, the fish cannot swim. And adharma, sometimes they use the parable of the shade under the tree, where a pilgrim or a banyan can take a rest. So the shade is not the source of rest itself, but without that he would have no rest under the hot sun. So it's dharma and adharma, and these two dravyas, they are only in law. They are not outside law, and there where are no dharma or adharma, there can exist nothing else. So outside law, there is nothing. Well, and the last item, which some schools add to dravyas, some not, it's kal, the time, which is also of some kind. It's some kind of very, very fine matter, the smallest particle which is in the universe. And there are 2 types of kal. One which enables changes of things, and the other one, it's the time we know, those are minutes, hours, years, and so on. If some of you studied Greek philosophy, you may know about chronos and kairos. And because the Indians' ideas are older than Greek ones, it's obviously taken from India. So this is what makes the universe, the log. The log has a shape like that, you know it? Well, and in the log, there we can follow the Kal Chakra. Kal Chakra consists of two cycles, Utsarpini and Avasarpini. Well, declining cycle and upgoing cycle. In each of the half cycle, there are 6 aras. We usually start from the first ara, which is called Sukham Sukham Ara in Sanskrit, and well, it's the period of perfection. So people do not do anything. They live from Kalpabriksha, the trees of plenty. They are born as twins, a boy and a girl. And they, well, the karmic principle does not work that. They live in Bhoga Bhumi, in Bhoga Yuga. Well, but because of the decline of the chakra, well, the conditions for living are slowly getting worse until they come to a certain period where there is not enough Kalpabriksha for everyone, and people start to compete, to be unfriendly, and it's the time for Kulakaras to come to form the human society. As far as I know, Jainism is the only religion where this decline is caused by itself just by moving of the time. In all other religions or mythologies in the world, somehow the worsening conditions are caused by man, by some kind of wrongdoing of a man, which turns the paradise into, well, our lives. So, in Jainism it's not like that. Just by simple moving of the time, the condition got to that situation. Well, and then the first Tirthankara appears, Adinath or Rishabha. It's a very interesting feature too, because if you follow the Indo-European civilization of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, you can find very many hints showing to maybe to Rishabha, some say, and some say maybe to so-called Proto-Shiva. But whatever way you look at it, you can discover Rishabha, the bull. You can discover the lotus asana sitting, and you can discover Kayotsarga position, which is also very unique because outside Jainism you don't find Kayotsarga position to be practiced anywhere. Well, so that was the first Tirthankara.